Hi y'all, this is the Legend Tales with Gabe for Week 1, Episode 2. As today I'm sitting with the one and the only Taylor Burnett, who is an OSU fan here, and I'm an OU fan. As once again, thank you all for joining me and Mr. Burnett today for round 2 of our podcast. So now I'll turn it over to Mr. Burnett for a brief second and let him talk. And then we'll get rolling. Mr. Burnett, take it away.
Well, first of all, I want to say how proud I am of Gabe. So do you have an agenda? You know, the beauty of the podcast is this, right, Gabe? We can kind of do whatever the heck we want, right?
Right.
Hey, but, I want to give a big shout out to Gabe, how proud I am of him. You know, the radio show last year, doing this podcast, going to reach millions of people. What's the goal? How many people?
40,000.
40,000 people. So, folks, you need to spread the word out there and help Gabe for the Legend Tales to be able to do that, to download everything. But, you know, Gabe has really progressed as a sports genius. And if you guys haven't seen him since last May, dropped what, 25 lbs?
As of last night, I weighed 192. Yesterday morning, 192.
So you guys should see him. He's really ready for these females out there. Hit him up at the Legend Tales. He's looking for some dates and everything like that. So, hey, the other beauty is I've been listening. You know what I love about podcasts? You can kind of listen to them whenever you want. And, I drive a lot and I listen to podcasts. Of course, I listen to ones that probably I wouldn't want you to listen to because podcasts aren't very clean. But I think you have such a market with that, being able to do a PG podcast, right, and about sports. What do you think?
The only podcast I listen to, Mr. Burnett, are sports podcasts. So.
Okay, well, Joe Rogan is kind of one I do, and Mark Maron. And things you should know, which is kind of interesting as well. Yeah. So, but I'm kind of excited. So, this is Gabe's show, so it's turning over to him, seeing what he wants to talk about. Where are you going to start?
I'm going to start with college football, Mr. Burnett. College football's back on the horizon tonight. We got 12 games slated for tonight.
What's your game you're really excited about?
OU and Florida Atlantic this weekend.
No, tonight.
Oh,
hey, come
tonight.
on, here we are Thursday. What color am I wearing? What's the one team you are so pumped to see?
Well, I guess I'll say it out right now. Mr. Burnett's team, OSU.
There we go.
Mr. Burnett is a fan of him. And, of course, if all of you have come to agree and know that I am an OU fan, from my Legend show last year, I talked about OU and Mr. Burnett talked about OSU. So it's kind of a little bit of a house divided up here at the Votech, just like it is back at home with me and my parents, Mr. Burnett. I'm the only OU fan of my parents, and
they can't sway you over. So what are you looking forward to tonight? What do you think's gonna happen with OSU?
Well, I think Missouri State allowed Mr. Burnett 40 points on defense last year.
A game?
A game.
Yeah, not over the entire season.
No,
a game, right?
bet a game.
Okay.
Oh, I expect OSU to win.
Well, yeah, duh. So, what do you think the highlight? Who's going to be the player of the game today?
Justice Hill.
Okay, why do you think that? He deserves the Heisman?
Yeah.
Ooh!
Next year.
Next year? Okay, not this year.
I didn't think you could get the Heisman when you was a junior, Mr. Burnett.
Yep, sure can. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think OU had one player get it.
Yeah. Okay. So you think Justice Hill then, huh?
Yeah.
So how soon do you think we see a backup quarterback in the game? Because Cornelius is starting. You know what? To me, this is the most interesting change over the summer: the red shirt rule. Right? Do you know what the red shirt rule is now?
No.
Okay. So a true freshman or a player can play in 4 games during the season, any 4 games, and still redshirt. Pretty interesting, isn't it?
Yes, very much so.
So do you think we see Spencer Sanders today?
I would assume so.
You think so? I don't think we do. I think we let Corndog in, and we actually...
Would T back up today, Mr. Burnett?
I think that Drew Brown is the backup, possibly.
backup. So
Yeah.
when do you think Spencer Sanders will play a part into your guys'
Well,
season this year?
either that or I think Spencer Sanders is very early and you save Drew Brown for later in the season. Or because you're going to find out if Cornelius is the guy or not. Has all the skills, and what I heard, practices real well. But we'll see how he performs in game time, and that's why I think you're not going to see any trick plays, but you're going to see what he can do out on the field in the first half. I don't think we have it the Justice Hill show a whole lot. We let him get his stats and everything, but the other thing is I think we've got a stable of tailbacks in that backfield. So I think that you're going to see Taylor Cornelius get to do some things and show what he's made of, and see if he is the guy or not. Practicing and playing are two different things, right?
Right.
Who was who the worst practicer ever was in OSU history?
No.
Brandon Weed. How good was he on the field?
Very good.
There you go. So if you're a good practice player, you might not be a good player in the field, right? So we're going to see what Corn Dog is all about tonight. But I do think
I saw Mr. Burnett where Gundy does no longer have the mullet.
Yes. What do you think of that? Huh?
I think it was.
Are you growing the mullet out now?
I've had a little bit of conversation about it, Mr. Burnett, but it's not going to happen right at this time.
I would grow the mullet out if Mrs. Burnett would let me right now. And I would perm it like I did back in the 90s, and maybe even have some stripes in the side of the hair. That's the way the 90s used to roll, Gabe. Pretty special.
Yes.
Right? Believe it or not, I wasn't a Brian Bosworth fan, but I looked very close to Brian Bosworth at one point in time, even though I was trying to look like Vanilla Ice. Right?
Right.
Okay.
So what's the other games we got slated tonight, Mr. Burnett? Anybody else?
Nobody else. It's just all OSU. That's all that matters. What do you think the final score is going to be? What do you think happens tonight?
I think OSU dominates. I think OSU ends up winning pretty easy.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think you see a very big victory. I think we score in the 50s. They probably score in the high teens, low 20s. Just because I think we play a lot of guys just because of that freshman rule.
Yeah.
The interesting thing to me is running in that 4-2-5, right?
But don't you all play Boise State next week, Mr. Burnett?
No, we play them in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, that's where the big test will be, and that's why we got to get some guys some time in case Corn Dog is not the guy.
Who do you all play next week? We play UCLA.
Well, who do you play this week? Hey, what's the one thing you don't do in sports?
Flashback ahead.
You don't look ahead, right?
You don't look ahead. We play Florida Atlantic.
There you go.
Who finished 11-3 last year? And
Conference champions.
Yep.
Who's their coach?
Lane Kiffin.
But who did they lose? Their quarterback is gone, correct?
Driscoll?
No.
That wasn't who it was.
No.
I think.
No, never mind. I'm thinking, no, Driscoll, he is back. The guy it's Johnson is one of them that was from.
But one of their quarterbacks was Driscoll,
yeah,
right? And he has a brother that played, right?
Yeah,
that's in the NFL now. I'm pretty
sure. And so
sure.
you guys roll. I mean, it's pretty cool. They're trying to make it like it's going to be a big game, conference champion versus conference champion. But is it going to be a big game?
No.
Yeah, no.
I think we'll see a lot of reserves in there too as well.
Yeah,
I really do. I don't think Murray's going to play much either. I think we'll win in the.
Okay, this is my question. Is Murray, I know he's the guy. They've named him the starter. We know he's not the future, though.
No. It's going to have to be Kendall or the back. I don't know who the backup is.
Well, you got a recruit coming in.
Spencer Rattler, I think.
One of the keys is Bob Stoops, one of his downfalls, in my opinion, as a head coach was always what? Playing quarterbacks too long.
Yes.
And not getting the backup work.
But the new era without Baker Mayfield, Mr. Burnett, begins this week.
Well, and you know you're not going to have Kyler next year, so why not play the kid that, in my opinion, that's almost the way I'd have gone and let Kyler just go to play baseball. That's just me. But I'm not a huge Kyler Murray fan, though, either. So we'll see. I know you are, though, right?
Yeah, right.
So do you think you get a lot of Rodney Anderson show to Saturday night?
Yes.
Okay.
Rodney Anderson, and who's the backup?
I don't know. What are you asking me? You're the OU fan. I can tell you all the people at OSU's team. So do you think that you guys throw the ball a lot? Do you think you run the ball?
I think it's going to be Murray Anderson show.
I think you guys do a lot of more running attack this year than you did last year. I really think that. They say that you guys have the most talented receivers in the Big 12. I still disagree. You guys do
Which
have really, really good wide receivers, but I don't know across the board.
which I am really sorry, Mr. Burnett, but I don't know how you guys are not ranked. Would you please explain that to me and why? I
Um,
think we'll finish.
well, I'll tell you why. You lose a second round draft pick and a third round draft pick and a fifth round draft pick, and you switch defensive schemes.
Who did you all lose from last year's team, Mr. Burnett?
Well, we lost a lot of players. We lost a lot of
Did you lose
linebackers.
Lacey, or is Lacey
Lacey's
back?
Lacey's gone.
Who's the one wide receiver that's going to stand out to you all this year for us? Because
Johnson.
I think it'll be Hollywood Brown for us this year, Marquise Brown, or one of our other wide receivers.
I don't think it's Brown.
I think it's Lamb.
I mean, I think he does well, but I think he just
I think
fits
it's
a mold.
I think it's Brown or Lamb.
For us, I think also you watch out for Batman and Superman on our team, the Wallace brothers. I really think that they're going to step out. But
Stoner.
well, Dylan Stoner's about as solid as it gets. He's like Charlie Moore revisited, is what he is. I just hope he stays healthy more than anything. We still have receiver after receiver. I mean, McCaughlin went down with the 6'6" guy from Oklahoma City went down with an injury, which I hated to see because we had some guys that we could have lined up on the edges in that red zone and would have been able to pull that Marcel Aitman. But we did lose Aitman, Lacey. We did lose our Cowboy back, not Jarwin, but the kid after that. We did lose James Washington, of course, right?
Yeah.
We did lose Mason Rudolph. We lost almost a lot of our linebackers. We lost a pretty good amount in secondary. And we're running into that 4-2-5 now. And that 4-2-5 means what? What does that 5 mean, Gabe? Running what? 5 defensive backs.
Yes.
Okay. And we did lose 2 linebackers in preseason as well. One was a true freshman, but one was the McCone guy that was going to probably play a lot at linebacker. So we'll just see.
I'm really looking forward to the Alabama Louisville game too, as well,
Yeah.
Mr. Burnett. I think Alabama wins that one, but that's another game I'm.
Did you
most
watch
intrigued.
that preseason deal, or that they profiled Alabama? Did you watch that at all?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of
It
that.
looked like a professional
They,
locker room.
I don't even think they've named their starting quarterback yet, have they, Mr. Burnett?
Well, that's pretty
Saban?
interesting to me as well. What do you think? If you were the head coach, if you were Nick Saban, which I'm glad you're not Nick Saban, by the way. But if you were, who would you pick as your starting QB?
Probably the one who won it for him in the national
Totally
playoffs.
agree. So you go away and you don't let Hurts do it. Then you go to Toyasa Sopu or whatever, right?
Lavala.
Yeah, well, I don't know. So yeah,
Taga Tuvala.
is that who you go with?
Yeah.
Because of the young aspect, and Jalen Hurts is great. He's definitely not a pro quarterback. You have a pro quarterback on campus that came in and won the national championship
Yes.
for you.
And I'm most intrigued too, Mr. Burnett, to see who Louisville starts. Because they lost Lamar Jackson from last year's team.
But I've heard that they're a little bit more excited. Lamar Jackson did a lot for them, and they let him do a lot for them, right?
Yes.
So I think that it'll be interesting. I heard that they're more excited that they can open up that playbook a little bit more and get back to their roots. Get back to the way they want to do things and not Lamar Jackson show a little bit.
Yes.
I think that can help sometimes as well. So the thing I'm most disappointed about more than anything are these idiot morons on the national scale thinking that University of Texas is back even though they won 6 games last year. What do you think about that?
I don't know, Mr. Burnett. I don't think so.
I don't think they're back either.
Hey, did you see what Tom Homan did?
Yep. Yeah.
I didn't like that. I didn't like what I thought Urban Meyer should have been fired, Mr.
Why?
Burnett.
Why do you think he should have been fired? That we disagree with OU and OSU. I want to get your take on things.
Because I didn't like what he did. When I heard what he did, Mr. Burnett, I thought it was disappointing and heartbreaking, and I just didn't like it.
Okay, my question is this: are you your own person? Can I control you?
No.
Now, if can I control my employees? Myself? Not really. I mean, they're their own people. They're going to make their own decisions.
Yeah.
Correct? Now, there weren't any charges filed.
No.
Okay. Now, but he should have probably been investigating it. Yes. But I think in today's society we are too reactionary at times. Everybody is so quick to vindicate and judge, and I don't know is a Coach Meyer has a lot going on as it is, right? Yes, granted, being this guy was with him for a while, he probably did know a little bit of the things. What he knew, I don't know, but a lot of times though as well is there's people out there that are going to throw out accusations, and what do we always say? Until you are actually persecuted, right?
Right.
Until the court of law makes a decision, I don't know if I want to make that decision at times. Now, granted, I probably would have fired him, yes, earlier, but how long did it go on? That's the speculation. There's a lot of speculation, but Coach Meyer does so many things. I just don't know if he really deserved. Now, the Maryland thing that should have been done. That you should fire someone for a little bit with mistreatment. That is true blue.
Did they ever do anything with DJ?
Yeah, they fired the Maryland coach.
Okay.
So, but then those things need to happen. But we cannot control other people, and that's a little bit of the issue I have. The world now, we are so it's a fine line with we are saying, okay, you did this, that deserves you to be fired. You did this, that deserves a punishment. We just judge based upon different things. If he was at the University of Toledo, would he have been fired?
No.
Probably because it wouldn't have been as big of a deal, right?
Right.
And you mentioned Tom Herman. Where did a lot of this come from? Supposedly, is Tom Herman.
Yeah.
Turned them in with things. But also, there's some things out there that are coming back with Tom Herman hanging out with Mr. Evans as well in a place he probably shouldn't have been hanging out with also.
Yes.
So be careful with that.
Well, we're not, me and Mr. Burnett, for you all folks that know, we're not going to go into any details with what Tom Herman did, because it's probably not a good thing to talk about, Mr. Burnett.
I agree. So,
I don't want to talk about what he did.
Well,
but
Mr. Evans did a lot worse things for sure. Coach Evans did a lot, and he should have been fired probably a little bit before that. But when you find out, when you have concrete evidence, you can't go around in today's world just firing based upon hearsay.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what UCF's got this year, Mr. Burnett.
So, without Scott Frost.
Yeah.
So why are you interested in UCF?
And
just because of the head coach? Who's their new head coach? Your boy, OU quarterback. So, well, you don't even know. Okay, then why are you interested in UCF? You're throwing me off here.
I don't know. What's his name, Mr. Burnett?
What do you mean, what's his name?
OU's quarterback from when?
He was also your offensive coordinator for a while at OU. Under Bob Stoops. Do your research. And
it's not Kel Gundy, is it?
No. Come on, you know. Well, anyway. What?
They had a good team last year, so that's why I'm interested to see how they are this year. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Who is it?
Josh Heupel.
There you go. Okay, Josh Heupel. That's why I thought you were interested in UCF.
No, I'm just interested to see how they play this year.
Well, they lost the quarterback, though.
Yeah, and they lost both the Griffin brothers.
Yeah.
As well to the draft.
Well, the Griffin brother was before, but they lost. What a freak
that
is.
was a good story.
So,
on Shaquem Griffin, I think it is.
Yep.
So,
where do you think? Okay, if we're sitting here before all the games are going to be played tonight. If you're going to pick your top 4 in the playoffs, who's it going to be?
Alabama.
Okay.
1.
Okay.
Clemson 2.
All right.
There's some different people taking this and not taking this, but
you're your own person. Don't listen to other people.
I don't know. I don't think OU gets in this year, Mr. Burnett. I think they make a bowl game, though. I think they finish 9-6, 9-7. But
9-6, 9-7. How many games are you going to play? 18 games? 17 games?
I don't think they're gonna finish in the top 4, Mr. Burnett.
Okay. Do you think they lose a preseason game before they get into conference play?
No.
Okay.
I think their toughest test will be UCLA, though.
I don't think it'll be a tough test. Jim Moore is not a good coach, so.
I thought it was no Chip Kelly's at UCLA
Yes.
now, Mr. Burnett. No, is he not?
No, it's Mora. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Chip Kelly went to
Philadelphia Eagles. And he didn't last very long.
I bet he's in the college now coaching.
Yeah. So what do you think? So, okay, you've got Alabama, Clemson. Who else? You think it's a Big Ten team?
I think it's Washington.
I kind of like that.
And Auburn.
Problem that bothers me with Washington is everybody's on that bandwagon a little bit. Did you see the one and only, what's his name, used to be a tailback for the Robert Griffin, or not, that's an analysis on ESPN, you know who he picked? Texas.
It's not Boogie McFarlane, is it?
And Boogie picked, I don't think Boogie picked, it was Robert, the guy that used to
Who did Dusty Dvorak pick?
I don't know. Why are you asking me? I don't listen to Dusty Dvorak.
Well, he's on the sports animal.
I know. I don't listen to sports animal. I don't listen to those quacks. I listen to the national guys. That's what I listen to. Right?
Right.
I form my own opinions. But no, I honestly think Clemson's probably the best team. What'll be interesting with them is will they play Kelly Bryant, or will they play their stud quarterback, right?
Right.
I mean, he's a young kid that's getting a lot of hype, but Kelly Bryant does a lot of things. He's Deshaun Watson light. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, he's Deshaun Watson-ish, but he's a little bit light. He can't do as many things.
So anyway,
Okay.
we're gonna hopefully you all get out there and watch some good college football tonight and this weekend. And remember, Boomer Sooner, everybody, as Toby Wallen likes to say. T-Lo.
Okay, are we
Let them.
Are we cutting it out? This is your show. We cutting it off?
No, we're
Okay,
not yet.
okay.
But
What else are you going to talk
But
about?
I thought I would just say that.
Okay, all right. I didn't know. This is your show. You run it. So what else you want to talk about, Gabe? That's the beauty of a podcast.
We
can talk about whatever.
We're going to
We can
talk about
why
some.
why wearing green on Thursday instead of orange is not a good decision. Can't we? Huh?
Now
I know the Leedy legend wants to wear green all
Yeah,
the time.
as you all know, my name is the legend Gabe Gore.
So, what else you want to talk about? I know.
Now we're gonna dive into a little bit of high school football, Mr.
Okay,
Burnett,
all right.
as we are officially on week 1.
Yep, week 0
This
was last
is
week.
week 1, Mr. Burnett, starting up this week, and we've got almost a lot of teams playing. Woodward's home, playing Clinton, a rivalry there. Sillings playing Sharon Mutual at Sharon Mutual.
What a great game that'll be.
That'll be the Classic Communications game of the week.
Okay.
I
mean, we have to listen to Perry.
That'll be Perry Thompson's. Perry Thomas.
I like Thompson better. Let's call him Perry Thompson.
Perry Thomas call. That'll be his call of the week down there at Sharon Mutual. And as well, I might be going to that game too as well. So
okay. Because those of you who don't know, you can listen to Gabe where?
You can listen to me on my podcast, or you can listen to me with Mark Ward and crew at ball games.
There you go.
I will no longer be officially on the radio, but Mr. Burnett decided to come in and join me today, and I thank him for that. So it's time to dive into a little bit of high school matchups this week, Mr. Burnett. How does it sound?
Sounds good. You're running this show, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is your deal. What do you think?
I think that we've got a good week of games. I think the football rankings came out, Mr. Burnett, as well. I think Shattuck's won. They just put a demolishing on Tipton last week, Mr.
So what
Burnett.
happens with Shattuck and Laverne? Laverne's lost a lot of players, but they're still going to be good, right?
Right.
So what do you think happens in that?
They don't meet this week? I don't.
No, I know they don't. I'm just saying
it's non-conference game.
all the way down. Yeah. What do you think all the way?
I think that Shattuck. I think Shattuck goes undefeated.
Yeah.
And Laverne loses one game, and that only game's to Shattuck.
Okay. All right.
Because I think Shattuck didn't lose very many, did they? They've still got Gurton.
Yeah, they're still
Bay.
pretty stacked.
I think they still got Bay, don't they?
Still pretty stacked.
Yeah. They've still got a lot of players returning. So.
Yep. So it'll be fun.
What's Woodward looking like this week? I think they've got did the kicker graduate? He graduated, didn't he? Shucky?
Yes. Yeah.
Maulet's still there. What do you think their season's looking like, Mr. Burnett?
It'll be interesting. I think a lot of the thing that hinges with Woodward all the time is offensive line play, because you're not getting those giant beasts at times but you don't have to be a giant beast at times though either. I think they've switched schemes. You need to probably get Coach Hickson on. I'm not 100% sure, but I think they've switched schemes from last year. But I think that they've got some talented players and some skilled players. I think they'll probably be a lot better on defense as well. But the problem is
I personally think Mr. Burnett, they have a tough schedule.
I agree.
I mean, Carl Albert's good again.
Guthrie.
Bishop McGinnis, Guthrie.
You saw what Guthrie did with Enid last weekend. It was a little. Of course, I know Enid had a lot of turnovers in the week 0 against Guthrie, but I got to get a little shout out to Will Phillips. He had a great game. He had 150 yards and 200 yards receiving as a tailback for Enid.
I've got to give a great shout out to my cousin Bryson Gore, Mr.
There you
Burnett,
go.
on that half of the end. Bryson Gore had one heck of a game last week, and that's going to be a really good game too.
Speaking of which, one of our sponsors, Gore Travel Stop. What happened last night? Did you see? They sold a $3 million lottery ticket.
Whoa, did they really,
Yeah.
Mr. Burnett? That's some exciting
How
news.
often do you drive by there and not buy a lottery ticket, Gabe?
I don't know. That's some good news, Mr. Burnett. They're probably making billions down there now, Mr. Burnett.
You're probably right, but that's pretty exciting. To me,
hey,
that's exciting.
Hey, was
news.
the winner Taylor Burnett?
No, it was not. If it was, then I probably would have taken off today. I'd have been straight to Stillwater right now and buying a membership at Carson Creek. What do you think of that? I wouldn't have quit work because I love work, but I probably would have enjoyed life a little bit more.
Oh.
Mrs. Burnett probably would have a really good way to spend it.
We've got...
Which would be my kids going to college because that's going to cost $500,000.
We've got Buffalo playing this week.
Yep.
Week at home. We've got Moreland playing this week. Is Moreland home or away, Mr. Burnett, by chance?
I don't really know.
I did not look that up.
Okay.
Buffalo's home. Sharon Mutual's home. Woodward's home.
I just love
all of the local school areas are home.
It's neon night in Woodward tomorrow night.
We do not know anything. For you all listening out there to me and Mr. Burnett, called the Legend Tales Gabe, we do not know if Moreland's home or away, so we're not going to be able to say that.
I didn't research that, on a podcast. When we did the radio show, I researched a little bit more. But you asked me the other night when I was in Oklahoma City. I said I'd come in. I didn't do a lot of research.
You texted me and said, "What did you do?"
I know,
So you wanted to join by yourself. I was gonna have Cooksey help me, but instead it was Taylor Barnett joining me this week. And next week I'm gonna try to get a student in here because Mr. Burnett's gonna be away.
Do you understand what you have in Mr. Kirksey though, too? Don't you? Well, you know what he did in college?
He played football.
He did play football, didn't he?
For Southwestern.
Not Southwestern.
No, Northwestern.
No, not Northwestern. He was in Bethany, so yeah. But he used to look.
So he played with the Broncos.
He used to look a little bit different. He's trimmed up a little bit, and but you can tell definitely has that wrestler football player.
Macho man, Randy Savage.
Yeah. But no, so I'm excited about that's the thing that we got to look at is we're so blessed to be in Northwest Oklahoma with all the talented teams we have here and great coaches, right?
Right.
And what I love is that we have teams that are team oriented, especially smaller schools, and that's why I would say high school football is probably the most pure part of the game. It might not be as exciting at times. I think the thing that we're missing in college is a lot of times is we're missing defense. That's why I always think defense wins championships.
Yes.
That's why I'm really thinking Clemson is going to be the way.
I've always heard that.
Yeah, defense wins championships. So yeah.
So yeah, we hope you all get out there, watch some college football this week, watch some high school football this week, as you all will get to listen to Perry Thomas with the call over at Sharon Mutual this weekend, and Matt.
We don't have to pimp that out anymore, especially with Perry. We don't need.
There'll be some other people over there.
We give Perry way too many props.
Like I was with Matt Oakes last week.
There you go.
Keith Sanders, Mark Ward.
Yeah, Mark
I thought
Ward.
they all did an excellent job. Mark Wood does an excellent job with what he does.
Yeah.
I've got to give him props. We're gonna dive in a little bit of MLB.
Are you in mourning?
I'm gonna talk about.
Are you a little sad?
Yeah, I'm a little sad because the Yankees keep losing. They got beat 2 out of 3 to the Chicago White Sox. The most embarrassing series the New York Yankees have played this month.
Yeah.
This month alone. Embarrassing. They desperately need Judge back,
Well, you're right.
They're missing their stud key outfielder, and they need to get him back desperately.
Yeah.
I still think they're going to make the playoffs because they're 4 games ahead of Oakland at the time we speak.
My Braves keep on rolling though too, and performing. Best leadoff hitter in Major League Baseball plays for who?
Atlanta Braves.
There you go.
Hey, but we've got 2 good rookies too, Mr. Burnett.
I don't care. We have the best leadoff.
You really want to know who's stepping it up this year a little bit? Nick Markakis.
Okay. Yeah.
We're going to talk a little bit now. We've got through MLB, so we're going to now a little bit talk about...
Because you don't want to talk about your Yankees anymore, what that's about.
Well, I've got to give some mad props to my dad's St. Louis Cardinals, who
good.
have won...
I didn't know your dad was a Cards fan,
have won a bunch of series now, and you should know my dad, Mr. Burnett.
I do know your dad.
From the radio show last year, but I've got to give mad props to my dad's St. Louis Cardinals.
And that's why you're probably the baseball player, is because of your dad, right?
Who just... keep on winning series. I don't know if they won last night or not.
They would sweep the Yankees.
Well, if we had Judge, Mr. Burnett, we wouldn't get beat.
Nope, they'd sweep them. Even with Judge.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, also, you got to give a little bit of a shout-out to the state of Hawaii, Little League champions.
Yes, right.
I love the way they played the game. Their coach might be the coolest coach I've ever seen.
And I've got to give some mad props to the people who produce this show and who let me do this show. Mr. Burnett, Mark Wood, got to give production to all of them. Say a little thank you to all of them for letting me do this. Give a thank you to Cooksey and Stetson over here.
Yep.
I'm going to thank you all again for letting me do this. Stetson for hooking it up. Got to give a little shout out to the one and the only Miss Rogers for letting me come back up here again and doing this, and for letting me switch classes as well. So we're going to now talk a little bit about high school baseball.
What? Okay. You want to give your...
Yeah, okay. So the weekly recap this week is the Lady Bison are 5-4. Won their first game against Eric. Will Fall threw a shutout, allowing no runs. Lady Boys ended up winning 15-0 that game. So tonight they play Blair at 8 in the Hydro Eek League tournament, and they are ranked 7th.
Okay.
Behind Asher and Whitesboro.
All right.
So that is.
Speak up a little bit.
Gonna do it this week.
That's gonna do it. Oh, just for baseball. Okay.
That's gonna do it this week for baseball. So now we'll talk a little bit about NBA.
Why?
NBA.
We haven't spoken in a while. Hey,
the NBA season has not officially begun, but
what are you excited about? I was, there are huge storylines, but for the Thunder this week, of course, or the off season, Paul George coming back.
Yes, Paul George.
We couldn't have had our
back.
hearts crushed,
yes,
like we did with KD. But it speaks volumes on the type of person that PG-13 is, right?
Yes, right.
Instead of KD.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to be very grateful for that. Of course, the huge also off season is LeBron coming in, right?
Yes, okay. LeBron. Yep. So this has been another episode, and this has been the weekly podcast.
When we come back, when I join again way on down the line, we can talk about how bad your Dallas Cowboys suck. Right?
Oh, and a little bit about the NFL. It's just still the NFL preseason, and Dallas has not played their starters the last 3 weeks in the NFL preseason.
I interrupted, sorry.
So, anyway, this has been the legend Gabe Gore signing off with another week, as I would like to thank the one and the only, the Mr. Taylor Burnett, for joining my podcast. We all hope you have a good week. Get out there and watch some college football, as this has been the Gabe Gore Show, along with Taylor Burnett. Legend Tales will be back again next Thursday. Hope you all join in, and be sure to listen, and we all hope you have a good week. See you all next week.